everyone and welcome back to the Gentle Dog Trainers channel. I'm your host Olivia DeSantos and this is my dog Pip, who is being very whingy today. You're very whingy today. How to travel in a car with your dog. And we're going to be talking about how to travel in a car with your dog. First, we're going to talk about all of the gear that you might need when traveling with your dog in the car. We'll also talk about extra considerations for your puppy and the golden rules of traveling with your dog in a car. But before we dive into the content, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. If you want to raise happy, healthy and well-behaved dogs, we make content on dogs every single week. So click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Now, let's get into the content. So first thing is that I want to dispel a myth about how dogs like to travel in cars or how dogs should travel in cars. You've probably seen this image of dogs traveling. You've probably seen this image of a dog hanging their head out of the window several times. You might have even seen it in real life a few times. Your dog is living their best life when they do this. And it's true that they do really enjoy doing this, but that doesn't mean that it's safe. They could accidentally swallow a bug. They could end up jumping out if they see something across the road. Sometimes the impact of the wind and or any sort of debris that is flying on the wind can end up in your dog's eyes, nose or mouth. So these are hazards. So the first thing to note is absolutely do not let your dog hang their head outside of the car window. It is not a good idea. So first let's talk about gear. What will you need if you want to take your dog on a trip in your car? The first thing is that you might need a crate or a carrier. Now this depends on the size of your dog. Not all dogs need carriers or crates for car travel. You can just get away with partitioning your back seat if that is something that you prefer to do. There are slings that can do this. We have a sling that I'll show you on camera very shortly. You can also do this with like an actual partition of the back seat. So essentially you want to make your back seat as secure as humanly possible. With this in mind, it's really helpful to purchase a car harness. Now this is a special type of harness that has a loop in it that you can use for a seat belt. And sometimes the harnesses come with their own seat belts that you attach and plug in. There are also ones that the actual seat belt of your back seat can like loop through the harness and secure your dog to the back seat. But car harnesses are really helpful if you've ever had a dog that kind of wants to climb all over the place and climb into the front seat as you're driving, then a car harness can really help you. Another piece of gear that you might consider is a car protector, a blanket or a towel. This is to protect your back seat. There are some really great car protectors out there that are scratch proof, waterproof, resistant to pretty much everything, which means that you won't get any sort of stains or smells or scratches on any very valuable upholstery in your back seat. But some people just use simple blankets or towels to protect their back seats. It depends on and how important those back seat upholstery is to you. The next thing that you need to do if you're traveling with a dog in a car is have plenty of poop bags. Now this is just in case you are doing any sort of long-term journey and you need to stop to let your dog go to the toilet. Most of the time they will tell you, sometimes they won't, but if you factor in several stops in your drive, then you'll need poop bags just in case. And the final thing that you'll need when traveling with a dog in a car is a dog water bottle. You need to make sure that your dog is well hydrated. Cars in particular are very warm. We've all heard those horrible stories about people leaving their dogs in the car. So even short journeys can be quite strenuous for them, and it's really important that they stay hydrated. So factor in some stops so that you can give your dog water and make sure that they have water on either side of the journey. Plenty of reviews for this particular list of dog gear, so check out the links in the description below and that will help you kind of decipher the very best of these items on the Australian market. Okay, so let's get into the golden rules of traveling with a dog in your car. Number one is that your dog should always be in the back seat. Absolutely no front seat riding for your dog. It will be hugely distracting and it's dangerous for you and them. They should always be in the back seat. Number two, keep meals light before any car journey. Car sickness is a thing. Our dog Pip that you saw a little bit earlier used to be extremely car sick when he was younger, like really would just vomit every single time he was in the car. He's gotten a bit more resistant as he's gotten older, but car sickness is very common in dogs, and so it's important that you help them out here and keep meals relatively light before any sort of car journeys. Number three, make frequent stops on long distance journeys. Now factor them into your actual travel planning is the easiest thing to do, and it also makes sure that your timekeeping is still on point if you've already planned when you're going to stop. Number four, crack the windows. Make sure that there is good ventilation in your car as you are driving. This will help stave off any kind of dehydration or heat exhaustion that your dog might get as you are driving. Number five, always have water in the car. So as I mentioned with the dog water bottle, get a really reliable dog water bottle and make sure that you always have plenty of bottles of water in your car, not just for your dog but also for yourself. Number six, don't let your dog stick their head out of the window. Please refer to the first section of this video to see why. I know it looks really cute, but it's a recipe for disaster. Number seven, make the car ride as comfortable as possible. So that could mean putting in some blankets or a towel with your smell on it, or a t-shirt with your smell on it. Think about how you can make your dog's car ride a bit more comfortable, considering that driving in your backseat is probably not their dream situation. Number eight is to build your dog's confidence with car rides over time. So the first car ride that your dog does shouldn't be like a 4-hour drive. That is not a good idea for anyone. It will be very stressful. It will be very stressful for you and very stressful for them. Some dogs are better travelers than others, but you're still better kind of building up that tolerance. So start with a 10-minute ride, see how your dog does, see if there's any motion sickness or if they vomit or if they're particularly anxious, see what any issues might arise, and then slowly increase to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, etc. And if you do intend to do quite long drives with your dog, then make sure that this is quite an easy transition from never being in a car to going on those super long cross-country drives. And finally, my 9th golden rule for traveling with a dog in the car is to use treats as a reward. So reward your dog for staying calm, reward them for just riding with you in general, because it's probably not the most pleasant experience for them. And you want them to associate being in the car with good things at the end of the day, so that they're not anxious or stressed every time that they go on a car ride. Pip learned to love the car because he realized that it is a gateway to really interesting walks. He can go on more fun hikes and go to lakes and go to dog parks and go to skate parks and things like that if he gets in the car. So even though it wasn't his favorite thing when he was much younger, it is now one of his favorite things ever. Finally, let's move on to some special considerations when it comes to puppies. The first thing is that you'll need to plan in more breaks if you have a puppy than if you have an adult dog. This is because puppies need to go to the toilet far more often than adult dogs do, and you need to plan in for those accidents. Puppies in particular tend to be very anxious and suffer from a lot of motion sickness. So it could be worth discussing some anti-anxiety medication with your vet if you're going to do a really long drive. So for example, when we moved countries with my dog Blue, she was still just under 1 year old. She was still very young. and it did help to have some anti-anxiety drops to help her to help keep her calm throughout the 4 days of driving across country. The final extra consideration when transporting your puppy in a car is that you might want to lay down some disposable pee pads. So even if you are intending to plan in quite a few frequent breaks, it's worth having that little extra security, putting down some disposable pee pads on the back seat, so that if there are any accidents, that it doesn't mess up your upholstery. I will leave some extra advice and helpful links about this topic in the description box down below. If you really like this video, you will like this one. I've been Olivia DeSantos for the Gentle Dog Trainers channel, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.